play Valeria Card Kingdoms. I actually kickstarted this quite some time ago, and I think this is the first time we've actually really gotten out to play this. We've played some of the other Valeria games, so this is part of a series, and by part of a series, I mean really the main thing is that the cards are kind of all the same iconography, so it's really easy to pick up if you've played some of the other games. So the overall theme is very fantasy based. You get different type of citizens, be they rogues, monks, things like that, and you're trying to go against monsters and build up your kingdom. So that's the general theme. So who made it? What's going on?
Valeria Card Kingdoms, designed by Isaias Vallejo, and I apologize for the artist because I know I'm going to butcher his name, but Mihajlo Dimitrievsky. I think I got the last one okay, but his first name.
Doubt his name is Mihajlo.
Sorry. Yeah, probably not. But it's Mihajlo.
Okay.
MSRP is $33.99, but I think it's out of print because no one's selling it. It's out of stock.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
And on BGG, got a 7.4 rating.
Oh. Okay, cool. All right, digging into quality. So this is mostly a card game. They do have resources. Those resources are in shaped a circle for coin, mana's in a triangle kind of shape, and the shields are kind of strength are thing. And then
there's purple tokens too for victory points.
Yes, I have some of those too. The cards, they have very limited texture. They're not great quality.
No, there's several of ours that were warped in the box, and whenever you got them out, that they were curled up a little bit, so the stack didn't sit flat.
I will say this game was I was meant to have expansions because the box is way bigger than you need, and they have the styrofoam to kind of hold its place.
I think expansions did release for it.
I'm pretty sure that there's quite a few expansions out for this.
Okay, so then why not sell the base game? Whatever. I just work here. Okay, so
Oh, you lived here.
that too. 2 chunky dice. I actually really like the dice because they're big and you can actually see what's rolled across the table. I really like that. I feel like an old lady saying that, but there we are. So give it a rating, guys.
For quality?
Yes.
7. Nothing too impressive.
Well, I was going to go. I think it's probably more of a, I don't know, 6.
I could go 6 too.
I mean, no, it's just the cards are curling already, and that's the main point of it. I mean, the wood chips are sort of shaped like things that might be relevant.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the magic is supposed to be shaped like. It looks more like a shield.
It totally looks like mana.
I'm thinking they got them out of the Lucky Charms boxes again, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like anything that would look like magic to me. But yeah, I mean, certainly the cards are definitely the big issue.
I'm in between these two, 6.5, because you do have shaped, and I do like the chunky dice, but the card quality with it being a card game is...
I don't think it's that bad. I think the card stock's not super thick, but it's not super thin either. It's higher quality than Magic. And yeah, they curl a little bit, but you can easily fix that. It's not curled to where it's like damaged.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like a little bit of moisture or something maybe, but
yeah,
it's not that bad.
So moving on to theme. Honestly, the theme doesn't matter for this. It's fairly loose on. I will say I actually really like the art. The art is pretty cool. So in that aspect, I think it gets some points there. What are your guys' thoughts?
I love the art. I think the art's fantastic. Now, there's not a whole lot of variety because you get each stack of cards and each card is the same. So the knights are all the knights. It just, it's a bit of a stickler for me because I hated like a Marvel Legendary when it first started coming out. The art was exactly the same, and ever since then it just kind of bugs me whenever it's the same stack of cards or same character or whatever. It's the exact same art, nothing different. So it's minor, but it's still bugs me.
Yeah,
I think the quality art is fantastic. So thematically, I like the art a lot. And the components don't work towards the theme at all, but the art's great.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to note that most of the card games that you talk about, they do have that. Like even in Tanto Koro and some of those other things, you do get a stack of the same cards.
Legendary got better though.
Yeah, so a little bit different. I don't know what to say about the theme. It is what it is.
I mean, it's the typical standard
Fantasy.
role playing type characters.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. But the art is great.
I'll give it a 7 too because I like the art so much. But
yeah, I mean, it's nothing exciting to me, but I'll give it a 7 as well because the art is kind of interesting. I'm not a big fan of the knight though. His face looks like it's smushed under his helmet, but
it might be.
It might be.
Well, you're looking up, like you're looking at where he's about to attack you with.
That
the sword.
doesn't change the fact that he looks like his face is 2-dimensional versus the rest of him.
Oh.
But
he just looks ugly.
But yeah, I mean,
that way.
In general, I think they got interesting colors, and they, I like the brightness of the light effects on the wizard and stuff. They're neat drawings.
Yeah. So moving on to rules, I read a little bit of the setup, and I thought it was fine.
Yeah, the rules are pretty good. They're, they're not bad. They're pretty straightforward as far as they got all the symbology in them to show you what the cards mean, and the typical, if it's got a plus, what a plus means, and what a slash means to whether it's
the iconography for this game is super easy to understand.
It's very straightforward.
There's also a cheat sheet. They give you a cheat card. It's very straightforward. The iconography is on the back of it. I mean, this is perfect. This is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Except for setup. Setup, you do need to go to the rule book, which is fine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad at all. I'd probably give it an 8 as far as the rules, and it's got a quick reference on the back if you need it, and important concepts. Nice touches, but it's such a simple game. You aren't going to need it a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think 8 is good. These are good, solid rules and a great cheat sheet. Which honestly, I care more about the cheat sheet because I don't read the rules. So, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so moving on to gameplay. This is a pretty standard card building, except it's got a little bit of space based in the fact that you roll 2 dice, and whatever the number is, if you have citizens with that number, you get them. So, like, if you roll 2 6s, you get your 6s twice, and the 12.
Which that's different than space base.
Yeah,
that's a little different, yes.
And technically, this came out way before Space Base. This came out in 2015.
Okay, so this beats Space Base. But if you played Space Base, now if you got like a 4 and a 6, you could get your 10 and your 6 and your 4s. So that's how you gain resources.
And it triggers all of those numbers. So if you had 4 4s, it would trigger them 4 times.
Yeah. So
and it triggers during the other people's turns too when you roll, which is keeps everyone involved in the game.
Yeah, and I think that's helpful because you can
like that a lot.
You can kind of strategically plan as you go through.
Unless you roll off with it like you did.
Actually, what did I win by? Like 3 points?
You still you were getting so much stuff in the game. It took a few turns for me where every turn it felt like you could just do whatever you wanted to do. You had all the resources you needed to do it.
And I always came up like 1 or 2 short.
Yeah.
So it happens. I like this game because I like card builders. But it's pretty straightforward. You get your resources and then you buy the cards up there. You get 2 actions. So basically you buy 2 cards. I do like the fact that if you can't buy anything or can't defeat anything, then you can opt to choose a resource.
Right.
So no matter what, at least you're doing something and you don't get stuck. I greatly appreciate it because I would hate to get stuck. That would drive me nuts. So
another difference between this and Space Base is that this one comes with an in-game bonus. So each person has a character that's their role that has their own stats as far as what you get points for at the end of the game. So you can collect certain types of cards or certain types of domains or defeat certain types of monsters. And when we talk about the monsters, domains, and character cards, the characters are what you use that are going to help you with your rolling as far as your score.
Basically,
whatever your
resource gathering.
Your monsters have victory points, and they also give you a bonus when you defeat them. And then the domains give you either an immediate or an ongoing effect when you purchase them, plus they give you some victory points as well. So
I think it's very important. A lot of may not have noticed this game, it's heavy on the monsters. You get way more by attacking monsters than you do any of the other cards, I feel like. But of course, you still have to have your citizens to be able to even build up to defeat the monsters. But I think it was pretty heavy-handedly because oftentimes I didn't have the resources I needed, but I was able to defeat a monster, then get the resources I needed to do the thing that I wanted to do. And so, but like, I didn't feel you could quite get that combo going with the domains down below.
Yeah.
You couldn't, because the stuff that they give you were kind of abilities, but you know, I didn't find them as useful as some of the other stuff.
I found the domains underpowered for the
Correct.
cost of them.
Yes.
I mean, especially when you had a bonus that was based upon the icons that you collected from the people, and they were cheaper. You'd be better off buying two of the people than you were the citizens, I should say, than that you were buying a domain in many cases. Although getting the bonus for the icons on the domains was a nice boon at the end of the game.
Yeah, I will say, like, I had a really hard time justifying the purchase of domains until I realized that the icons counted because, and here's the thing though, what ended up happening towards the end of the game, I had so much resources, I almost wanted to spend the resources to get some of the, because yeah, I could buy 2 cards for the same cost, but then I'd still have a bunch of money left over. So, you know, it was kind of like, okay, what do you do with it? I think it ended right at a good amount because any further in, I think we'd end up with so many resources, it'd be kind of pointless to play. So I think it ended
we were running out of stuff anyway. I mean, you'd have to add more card stacks to make the game longer.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to be any longer. I think it was fine.
I agree.
The amount it was. So for that, I think they were spot on for. So let's give it a score, guys.
You start.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of this one. I like Space Base way more.
I do too.
You know, this one it feels like, I don't know, it's the same kind of thing. You're rolling dice and getting stuff, but I always feel like I'm always getting less than everybody else, even on my turn. It's like
you
I roll
almost
something.
won. You were just
I almost won because I tried to strategically gather my icons, but it didn't help because every time I come to the monsters, I was 1 or 2 shy of killing the big monster, and then I would say, "Oh, I'll settle by killing this smaller one and keep most of my stuff." And then the next turn around, sure enough, I was just 1 or 2 shy again, and it's like it was very frustrating, especially when every time you always seemed to have what you needed, and it was just.
It seems like that, but it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I mean.
But it feels like there's a lot of luck in this game as far as the die rolls.
Well, that's just same as Space
Well,
Base.
it's what's odd about it because it doesn't feel as painful in Space Base, and it's the same kind of concept. So I'm not sure what the difference is. Maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. But it sure feels different in this game to me than it does on Space Base.
Now, I will say this is the first time we've actually ever played this, but one of the other Valerian card games, same world, different things, there was a system where something, again, was way overpowered and something was totally like useless. There would be no point in buying them. And so for this series, I do think they have a bit of balancing issues. That is a reoccurring theme in Valeria games that really make me depressed because I actually really like the cards, the system. I just wish they could balance out a little bit better for the purchases. I like honestly, for the whole series, I like the iconography being the same. I like the symbols being the same. So you can go from one to another, but experience a different thing. And this kind of goes for the whole series, but just generally speaking. And I actually always enjoy it. But the thing is I think the more you understand a game, you realize there is some power dynamics at play. Like, go to the monsters, or, avoid that row, those aren't worth it. And I think that's a bit of a crappy part of the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it felt like the monsters that were, I mean, obviously the tops of the stacks are always weaker and you go down and there's better monsters below, but I always would have enough to kill the monsters that were like weak and give you very few points. I could kill off like several of those if I wanted to, but the good one that I was short of killing that one by 1 or 2. And
but that happened to all of us at some point. I mean,
did it?
Yes.
It didn't happen to me because I got those monsters ready for you to kill.
Yes.
Because I killed a lot of monsters.
Yeah, we cleared
but
off.
But it was all the weak ones so that you could kill the strong ones.
I don't think that's how. No, I got rid of the kobolds all myself. Like, I got rid of 3 kobolds myself that gave me the red dragon.
You should look at my stack. I killed a lot.
Well, no, and I did the gold golem. I did 5 out of that 1 stack. So you can't say I didn't.
So I don't know. It's
I don't know why it's almost the same game as Space Base. I just like Space Base.
I do too.
I can't explain why. Maybe it's the theme, and I love fantasy. Don't get me wrong. I love fantasy. But it's just, I don't know. I feel, even in Space Base, when someone's running away with it, which she usually does in that game as well, it don't feel as bad when someone else runs away with it. Where this one just, I don't know, about halfway through, it just felt like there's no way I can win it. Even though
we weren't that far apart, though.
No, 10 points. That's quite a bit.
No, I mean, I think this one, I think the fact that you trigger everything is a problem as compared to what's in Space Base. I think that the triggering of only the numbers that you have, either individual dice or the sum, limits you somewhat on how much you can run away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, it's like every combination of those dice you get, and it seemed like I would produce, I'm getting
and multiple
2 or
times.
3 chips this time. This is awesome. And then Brandon would say, I got 16 chips. Give me those on my turn. It's like, hey, wait a minute, which is my turn. You normally expect I'm going to produce more.
But see, here's the thing, though, and this is what, like, there were a lot of turns that I just spent 1 or 2 coins down below saving my stuff, but you guys didn't see that, right? Like, I would buy just a level, 2 coin this and 3 coin that. And then
at the beginning of the game, when we all did that, yeah, you're right.
No, I did that continuously throughout. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, the net result is I didn't enjoy this as much as Space Base.
And I want to like it because, one, I do like the art. But 2, I like the premise of the game. I like Space Base a lot, so I should love this game a lot. And I like the interactivity because I like being able to constantly have something to do. There's very little downtime. I like that part a lot. It just, I can't put a name on it. It just didn't feel as satisfying as Space Base.
And honestly, the other thing is my character being a thief. I didn't like that because I didn't like it. I don't like attacking other players, and that's what the thieves do: is they steal stuff from the other players. And it's like,
you stole 3 money from you.
I stole 3 money from you, and then you stole a victory point from me. So,
done.
But the fact is there is attack cards to the other players, which Space Base so far we haven't run into anything where you attack or affect the other players, right?
No, I think there is. It's just I think there's some attack stuff in Space Base.
Is there? Okay, I don't recall it. But anyway, I'm going to give this one probably a 6. It's not high on my list of games.
Oh, ouch.
I think I want to agree. I think I'll give it a 6. Now, I think that maybe expansions fix it. I don't know. Maybe it makes it more fun. I'd like to try the expansions, so I don't want to say a 6 and I'll never play it again. It's a 6 that I want to try with other stuff.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm actually going to give this a little bit higher. I actually really do enjoy this. This particular Valerian, I think, is way more balanced than the other ones that I have played. So that wasn't nearly as an issue with this one. So I'm going to give this a 7.5. So, and honestly, if it wasn't so much that these were underpowered for the cost, I would even give it higher. But I do think they still have a slight balancing issue in this game, and that always drives me nuts. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate hanging out with you, and hopefully you'd like to hang out with us again. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If I could talk, that would be great.
The surprise button? Surprise!
Hey, if that works for you. And then don't forget to hit the notification bell so you see when we're going to go live. Not live. No, not yet. That would be dangerous. Yeah. But when we come back on. So thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.